Welcome to my channel. What if I told you a young man left his home to chase a dream and ended up alone on an island for 28 years? Would you survive? Let's learn his story and improve your English at the same time. What would you do if you were alone on an island like Robinson Crusoe? Chapter 1. The Dream That Changed Everything. Robinson Crusoe was just 18 years old. He lived in England with his family. His father was a successful businessman. His mother loved him very much. They had money. They had comfort. They had peace. Everyone expected Robinson to stay at home, study, and work in his father's business. That was the plan. But not for Robinson. Inside his heart, something was different. He didn't want to live a simple life. He didn't want to stay in one place. He wanted to go far. He wanted to travel the world. He wanted to see new places, meet new people, and live a big life full of adventure. His father called him one morning. He looked serious. He said, "My son, listen to me. The sea is dangerous. Travel is hard. People die. You have a good life here. Don't throw it away." His words were full of love, but Robinson's heart didn't agree. Robinson looked down. He didn't answer. He understood his father's fears, but something inside him was louder than fear. It was his dream. Later, he spoke to his mother. She listened. She was kind. She said softly, "My son, I love you. I want to see you happy, but the world outside is full of danger. We are safe here. Please stay." But Robinson still didn't feel peace. He said, "Mother, I want to see the world. I want to live the stories I read in books. I want to know what's out there." His mother looked at him with sad eyes. She didn't stop him, but her silence was full of worry. 1 year passed. Robinson went to visit a town called Hull. There, he met a friend. The friend's father had a ship. The ship was leaving for London. "Come with us," said the friend. Robinson didn't plan this. He wasn't ready. He didn't have a bag. He didn't even say goodbye to his parents. But his heart said yes, so he said yes. And just like that, his life changed forever. The first hour on the ship was amazing. The wind was cool. The sea was blue. Robinson smiled. He felt free. The dream was real now. He looked at the water, the sky, the birds. He felt brave. But then, the sky changed. The wind changed. The sea changed. Black clouds came. The wind became strong. The waves grew tall. The ship began to shake, up and down, left and right. People screamed. The sky roared. Rain hit his face. Robinson felt small, very small. His stomach turned. His legs shook. He thought, "I want to go home. I want my bed. I want my mother. I want peace." But it was too late. He couldn't go back now. That night he didn't sleep. The storm screamed around him. The ship felt like a toy in a child's hands. He closed his eyes and thought of home. His bed, his mother's voice, his father's words. The sea is dangerous. People die. Were they right? But in the morning, something strange happened. The sea became calm again. The sun came out. The sky was blue. The air was fresh. It felt like a different world. Robinson stood on the ship and watched the sea. It looked beautiful again, like the storm never happened. He smiled. His fear was still inside, but his dream was still alive. A man came to him and said, "You survived the storm. You're strong. Here, have a drink." Robinson took the drink. It helped. That night, he slept deeply. no dreams, just silence. When he woke up, the fear was less. The sea looked friendly. The dream returned. He started to think again about new lands, about Africa, about the future. He didn't know that this was only the beginning. He didn't know that the world was about to test him again and again. But in that moment, he was still full of hope. This was the first big step in his journey, the day he chose the sea over safety, adventure over comfort, and dreams over fear. When the calm sea suddenly turns into a nightmare, and Robinson realizes, maybe for the first time, that chasing a dream is not always easy, but it's still worth it. Would you make the same choice? Chapter 2: Slave, Love, and Escape. Robinson did not stop. After the first storm, he should have returned home, but his heart said, "Go." In London, he met a captain. The captain was kind. He offered Robinson a job on a ship going to Africa. Robinson thought, "This is my chance. I can make money. I can see a new place. I can live the life I want." The journey to Africa was good. The sea was calm. The sky was clear. When the ship reached Africa, Robinson sold things and made money. He felt proud. He wanted to learn more. He told the captain, "Teach me. I want to learn how to control the ship." The captain agreed. Robinson returned to Africa again. This time, the sea was not kind. A strange ship came near. It was not English. It was a pirate ship. The pirates came fast. They attacked. They had swords and guns. They shouted in a language Robinson did not know. They climbed on the ship. They took control. Robinson and others were made prisoners. His dream was now a cage. The pirates took him far. He was now a slave. He had no power. He had no voice. Every day he worked hard. He cleaned. He carried water. He served the pirate captain. He was just a tool, but his eyes still looked far. He still had hope. Then one morning, everything changed. He saw her, a young woman. She worked in the house. She was also a slave. She was quiet. She was beautiful. She didn't speak his language, but her eyes said many things. When she saw Robinson, she smiled, a soft smile, a sad smile. They didn't speak, but their hearts understood. Sometimes she touched his hand for a second. Then she walked away quickly. That 1 second stayed in Robinson's heart for the whole day. Robinson thought about her every night. He wanted to tell her how he felt. But he had no words. And even if he had the words, they had no freedom. They could not be together. Slaves had no right to love. That made his heart hurt even more. But Robinson was not just thinking about love. He was also planning. He wanted to be free. Sometimes he went fishing with the captain. A young boy helped them. They used a small boat. One day, the captain asked Robinson to prepare a bigger boat for the next trip. He also told him to put food and guns on the boat. Robinson saw this as a small chance to escape. He thought about the woman. He wanted to take her, but it was not possible. How could he take her without alerting the pirates? He cried inside. He had to choose between freedom and love. He chose freedom, but the pain stayed. The next morning, he left. He and the boy went on the boat. Another man went with them. He was their boss for the day. They went far to fish, far from the land. Robinson waited. When the boss was near the front of the boat, Robinson pushed him into the sea. The man shouted. He tried to come back, but Robinson took a gun. He said, Go away. Swim. The man saw the gun. He swam away. Now it was just Robinson and the boy. Robinson looked at the boy. The boy looked at him. There was silence. Then the boy nodded. He was on Robinson's side. Robinson was free again. They sailed fast. For 6 days they moved along the coast. They needed water. At night, they reached land. They heard strange noises. The boy was afraid. Robinson was afraid too, but he stayed calm. When they saw animals in the water, he took a gun and fired. The sound scared the animals. They ran away. The next day, they went to the beach. They found water. They found fruit. The boy caught a chicken. Robinson laughed. The boy laughed too. They were hungry, tired, but alive. They didn't know where they were. Maybe near Africa. Maybe on a land where no people lived. But they were free. Then, one day, they saw a lion. The lion was sleeping on the beach. When it opened its eyes and saw them, it ran fast. The boy screamed. Robinson stood still. He had 3 guns. He shot. 1 hit the leg, 1 hit the head, 1 ended the lion. They took the skin. The meat was not good, but the skin was dry. They kept it. Robinson looked at the sea. He looked at the sky. He was free, but lost. He had no country, no family, no name. Just a boy, a boat, and a dream. But that was enough to go on. When Robinson says goodbye in silence to the girl, a heartbreak so quiet, yet so loud. And then, when he finally stands up, takes the gun, and chooses freedom with tears in his heart, would you leave everything for one chance at freedom? Chapter 3. Lost and alone on the island. The sea was not finished with Robinson. After escaping the pirates, after defeating the lion, after sailing for days, Robinson found himself on another ship. This time, the ship was big. The men were strong. The goal was clear. They wanted to reach Africa again. They wanted to trade. They wanted to grow rich. Robinson joined them. He was no longer a beginner. He was ready for anything. That's what he thought. The weather was hot. The sun burned their skin. The sea was quiet for a week. But then, something terrible happened. A hurricane came. The sky turned black. The wind screamed. The waves were taller than houses. The ship broke. Wood flew into the air. The men cried for help. Robinson held on to the ship with all his strength, but the ship could not fight the storm. It broke in 2. The men jumped into a smaller boat. They tried to reach land. The waves pushed them like toys. Then, a wave hit hard. The boat turned. Robinson fell into the sea. He went under. He couldn't breathe. He didn't know which way was up. Then, one wave pushed him up. He saw a beach, a small piece of land between rocks. Another wave pushed him again. His feet touched the ground. He tried to stand, but his legs were weak. The next wave pulled him back. He was drowning again. Then, another wave threw him on the beach. He stood. He ran. 10 steps. He fell. He was safe. He lay on the sand. No one else was there. He was the only one alive. His friends were gone. The ship was gone. Everything was gone. Robinson looked around. He had no food, no clothes, no tools, only the clothes on his body and a small knife in his pocket. That was all. He had no plan, no idea where he was. He didn't even know how to survive. He found a river. He drank. Then the night came. He was scared of wild animals. He didn't want to sleep on the ground. So he climbed a tree and spent the night there. In the morning, the sea was quiet. The ship was still in the water, not too far. Robinson swam to it. He didn't know if he could climb it. He swam around it. Then he found a rope. He pulled himself up. The ship was empty, but not useless. He found food. He found clothes. He found a bottle of rum. And he found something he didn't expect. A dog. The captain's dog. Now he was not alone. He built a raft from wood. He took food, clothes, some guns, and the dog. He returned to the beach. He was not safe yet, but he had hope now. He found a hill. He climbed it. He looked around. He saw sea all around. He was on an island. To the north and west were small islands. Far to the south, he saw land, maybe 100 kilometers away. But there was no way to reach it. He was truly alone. He built a tent. He brought the most important things from the ship. He made another raft. He went back again and again. He brought candles, beds, tea, even a box full of money. The money made him laugh. What could he buy with money here? There were no shops, no people. One day he found dark clouds in the sky. A storm was coming. He swam back fast. The ship disappeared the next morning. Now, the island was all he had. He looked for a better place to live. He found a big hill near fresh water. He built a fence. There was no door. He used a ladder to go in and out. He made 2 tents, a small one for himself and a bigger one for food and gunpowder. He built a calendar from a wooden cross. Every day he made a small cut. Every Sunday, the cut was longer. Every month, the last day had a special mark. One day he felt very sad. He thought, I am alone. I have no one to talk to. I may never see England again. But then he thought, I am alive. I am safe. I am free. I have food. I have tools. I have my dog. He smiled. He wrote the good things and bad things on paper. He chose to focus on the good. He began to change. Every morning he walked. Every afternoon he worked. Every evening he wrote in his book. He made his cave bigger. He made it strong. He built a table. He made chairs. He felt proud. He had nothing. And now he had a home. Robinson was alone. But he was not weak. His body was stronger. His mind was sharper. His heart was softer. He was learning how to live, not just survive. When Robinson pulls himself from the waves and lies on the sand, weak, broken, and alive, and when he laughs at the box of money, realizing how little it means when there are no people to buy from, would you survive like Robinson? Chapter 4. From Wild Man to Farmer and Teacher. Robinson was no longer afraid of the island. He was now part of it. He woke up with the sun. He worked with his hands. He listened to the wind, the birds, the ocean. Slowly, the island became his teacher, and he became its student. He planted corn. At first, he didn't plan to. One day, he found an old bag. The bag had a little corn dust inside. He threw it on the ground. Weeks later, he saw something green. It was corn. New life. He smiled. He watched it grow. He protected it from birds and goats. He built a fence. He waited. When it was ready, he didn't eat it. He saved it. He used the seeds to plant more. Robinson was now a farmer. He also found wild goats on the island. They were fast. They ran away when he came close. He tried to catch them, but it was not easy. One day, his dog helped him. They caught a young goat. Robinson didn't kill it. He kept it. He gave it food and water. He made a small area for it. The goat became calm. Soon he had more goats. He built a bigger fence. Now he had milk. He had meat. He had a small farm. He even made cheese and butter. He found birds that lived in holes, not trees. They laid eggs. He ate the eggs. He caught a colorful parrot and taught it to say one word: Pole. The parrot became his friend. Robinson was not completely alone anymore. He had goats, a dog, and a bird. They didn't talk, but they listened. He made pots from clay. At first, they broke, but he kept trying. One day, he learned that if he burned the pots in fire, they became strong. He also learned how to get salt from seawater. He mixed flour and water and baked simple bread between hot stones. It was hard work, but it gave him joy. It gave him life. He wrote everything in his book: his thoughts, his fears, his plans, his hope. Writing was like talking to a friend. It helped his mind stay strong. He even drew a map of the island. He walked around, learning every part of it: the beaches, the trees, the valley full of fruits. He found oranges, apples, and melons. He built a second house near the fruit valley. He called it his summer home. He lived like this for many years. He didn't count them at first, but his calendar told the truth. One day, while walking on the beach, he saw something that froze his heart: a footprint. It was not his. It was clear, deep in the sand, bigger than his own. Robinson looked around. He saw no one. He listened. Silence. But his heart screamed. He ran back to his house. He closed the fence. He took his guns. He didn't sleep that night. Who is on this island? He asked himself. Are they friends or enemies? He remembered the stories of pirates. He thought about cannibals. Fear returned. The same fear he felt during the storm on the ship. The same fear he felt when he was a slave. But the next day, he tried to calm down. Maybe it's not new, he said. Maybe it's my own footprint from before. He went back to the beach. He checked the print again. It was not his. He was sure now. For weeks, he didn't go out. He stopped hunting. He didn't go to the fruit valley. He stayed in his cave. He made another fence around his home. He dug holes to put guns. He made secret places. He divided his goats into 2 groups and moved one group to a hidden place. He prepared for war, but no war came. Then something sad happened. His dog died. He was old. He was tired. Robinson cried. It was the worst day in years. His dog was not just an animal. He was family. He looked at the goats. He looked at the parrot. He talked to them. "You are my friends now," he said. He smiled through tears. The goat moved closer. The parrot said, "Paul." That was enough. The days became quiet again. He hunted. He cooked. He worked on his home. But he never forgot the footprint. It was a warning, a sign, that his life might change again. And it would. When Robinson sees the footprint in the sand, one print, one mystery, one moment that brings all his fear back, it is the beginning of a new part of his story. Would you go back to check the footprint or run away? Chapter 5. Friday. The friend that saved him. The island was quiet. Too quiet. Every sound made Robinson turn his head. He listened to the trees. He watched the beach from far away. His days were full of questions. Who was here? Would they come again? Were they watching him now? He no longer walked freely. He stayed near his cave. He only moved at night. He cooked without smoke. He made no fire during the day. He became a ghost on his own island. Then one morning, he saw smoke in the distance. Not from his fire. from the beach. Robinson climbed the hill. He took his telescope. He looked. What he saw shook him to his bones. There were people, many people, naked men. They danced, they shouted, and near the fire he saw something worse. Human bones, cannibals. They had come again. Robinson felt cold inside. He sat still. He watched. He said nothing. He did nothing. He felt helpless. But then, he saw two men. Their hands were tied. Prisoners. One of them looked weak. The cannibals dragged the man to the fire. They killed him. Then they danced again. They laughed. The second prisoner was still alive. Robinson couldn't move. His hands were tight. His heart beat fast. But then, the prisoner jumped up. He broke free. He started to run. He ran toward the trees, toward Robinson. The cannibals shouted. Two of them ran after the man. Robinson waited. He held his gun. His hands shook, but his eyes were strong. The prisoner ran past Robinson's hiding place. Then, the first cannibal came. Robinson shot. The man fell. The second cannibal raised his bow. Robinson shot again. Silence. The prisoner stopped. He was scared. He didn't know who helped him. Then Robinson stepped out. Slowly, calmly. He smiled. He showed his empty hands. The man looked at him. Then he dropped to the ground. He touched Robinson's foot. He put his head to the ground. He said no words, but the meaning was clear. You saved me. I am yours. Robinson called him Friday, because it was Friday that day. He gave him bread, gave him water. Friday ate like a hungry child. Then he smiled. The first true smile Robinson saw in many years. He took Friday to his cave. He showed him his world, the goats, the parrot, the tools, the food. Friday was amazed. He touched everything. His eyes were full of wonder. Robinson taught him words. Yes. No. Come. Go. Friday listened, then repeated, again and again, like a child learning to speak. They cooked together. Friday brought herbs from the forest. He knew which plants tasted good. Their food became better. Their meals became moments of joy. One day, Robinson shot a goat. Friday jumped back. He didn't understand how the goat fell. Robinson explained the gun. He showed how it worked. Friday was afraid at first, but then curious. They became a team. Robinson taught. Friday learned. But soon, Friday started to teach too. He taught Robinson how to catch fish with less work, how to make a better fire, how to move without noise. They laughed, they worked, they lived. Robinson asked him about the cannibals, about his people. Friday said, "We have war, always war. We kill, they kill." Robinson asked, "Do you want to eat people?" Friday shook his head. "Not now, not with you." One day, Friday told him a secret. "I know white men, on my island, 17, Spanish and Portuguese. Maybe they are lost. Maybe they want help." Robinson listened closely. Maybe he was not the only European near. Maybe there was a way to leave the island. Robinson showed Friday his canoe. Friday said it was too small. They needed a bigger one. Together, they started to build one. It took weeks. They worked hard. They cut trees. They made the inside empty. They shaped it, moved it. The canoe was ready. But just one day before they planned to leave, Friday saw something on the beach. He ran back. "They are here, cannibals, 3 boats, many men." He was scared. He thought they had come for him. Robinson took his guns. He climbed the hill. He looked. Yes, there were many, but he saw something else. 2 prisoners again. One looked different. Not like Friday. Like a European, Robinson had to decide, stay hidden or try to save them. He chose to fight. He and Friday moved through the forest. Slowly, quietly, they reached near the fire. The cannibals were dancing again. One prisoner had already died. The other was waiting, tied, helpless. Robinson looked at Friday. Friday nodded. It was time. When Friday drops to the ground, puts Robinson's foot on his head, and says nothing, because some moments are too big for words, and when Robinson decides, again, to risk his life for a stranger, would you fight to save someone you don't even know? Chapter 6. Freedom, Return, and Legacy. Robinson and Friday moved fast. They hid behind trees near the cannibals' camp. They saw everything. The prisoner who was still alive was not one of Friday's people. He was a white man. His face was pale. His clothes were torn. His hands were tied. His eyes looked tired, but not hopeless. He wanted to live. Two cannibals walked toward him. They grabbed his arms. They began to pull him toward the fire. Robinson raised his gun. He nodded to Friday. Friday raised his too. Then, 2 shots. The sound exploded in the forest. One cannibal fell. The other screamed. The others looked up, shocked. Robinson and Friday ran out from behind the trees. Another shot, another fall. The cannibals ran in all directions. They shouted in fear. They had never seen such power. The prisoner fell to his knees. He looked at Robinson. He spoke in Spanish. Robinson didn't understand much, but he saw the tears in the man's eyes. He gave the man bread and water. He helped cut the ropes. Friday looked closely at the man. He gasped. Then he shouted. He ran and hugged him. "It's my father," Friday said. His voice shook. His eyes were full. He kissed the old man's hands. The father cried. He touched Friday's face like it was a dream. Robinson turned away. He didn't want them to see his tears. They went back to the cave. The old man was weak. They fed him slowly. They let him sleep. The next morning, he was stronger. He spoke to Friday. Friday translated, "There are white men on our island. 17. They are from a Spanish ship. They have no tools, no boat. They wait for help." Robinson sat in silence. He looked at the sky. For many years he had believed he was the only European in this part of the world. Now, maybe not. He looked at Friday, then at the old man, then at the Spanish man they had saved. Robinson said, "We will help them." But the Spanish man said something else. He said it carefully. "There are many men. They will need food. We should wait. We should prepare. Then we can bring them here safely." Robinson agreed. They worked together. They built more fences. They caught more goats. They dried fruits. They made more bread. Robinson taught the Spanish man how to bake. The Spanish man taught Robinson a faster way to make baskets. Friday and his father worked in the fields. They were building not just food, they were building a plan. Then one day, a new boat came. But it was not from Friday's island. It came from the sea, from another direction. Robinson looked through the telescope. It was English, an English ship. But something didn't feel right. He watched as men left the ship in a small boat. 11 men. 3 of them had their hands tied. Prisoners. 8 had guns. Robinson saw the face of one of the prisoners. He looked scared. He said something, but the others laughed. Robinson and Friday stayed hidden. They waited. They watched. The sea was quiet. The boat was still. Night came. Robinson and Friday crawled through the forest, slowly, quietly. They reached near the prisoners. 2 of them were guards, but they were sleeping. Robinson whispered, "I can help you. Are you friends or enemies?" One man whispered back, "I am the captain. They betrayed me. This is a mutiny. If you help me, the ship is yours." Robinson said, "I don't want your ship, but I want to go home." The man said, "Then let's take back the ship." Robinson cut the ropes. He gave the men guns. The guards woke up too late. They were tied. The captain spoke to the other men. Some were loyal, some were not. There was a fight, but the captain won. At sunrise, the ship was his again. He raised his hand and fired 7 shots into the air, the signal of success. Robinson stood on the beach. He looked at the sea. The ship was there. After 28 years, his way home was real. His eyes filled with tears. Friday stood beside him. "Are you happy?" he asked. "Yes," Robinson said, "but also sad." He looked at the island. Every tree, every rock, every goat, every part of it was part of his heart. He had cried here. He had laughed here. He had learned to be strong here. He took his dog. He took Paul, the parrot. He took his book, his memories. He left the rest. They sailed. In Brazil, Robinson met his wife again. She had waited, then moved on. But her heart was still soft. She welcomed him. She showed him their son, now a man, strong, brave. He looked at Robinson and said, "I want to see the island too." They visited it. Together. The island was full of people now. Friday stayed. He had a wife, a family. He was happy. He smiled and said, "Thank you." Robinson walked through the valley of fruits, through the goat fields, through the old fences. He touched the cross where he marked the days. He closed his eyes. He said goodbye. When Friday sees his father alive, and when Robinson sees the ship that will finally take him home, would you cry or stay? If this story touched your heart and helped your English, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with your friends. And now, it's your turn. Comment below. Would you stay on the island or go home like Robinson Crusoe? We read every comment. Thank you for watching.